It's time for trigger warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Trigger Warning. 3 nights in a row. Imagine that. I'm Hayden Hughes and I'm joined, of course, by Plague Dr. Graham Booth.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Yeah. You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm great.
You've been dancing with Mulan, haven't you? Or
It's possible. It's actually possible. I'm still of the opinion it's a bad cold, but today there've been some changes.
Yeah.
I've developed a cough that really is worrying Mrs. Hewitt. Very dizzy, hot, cold, sleepy, the full hit. So if it is, I'm still thinking it might just be a shitty cold, but if it is the Kung Flu, then yeah, I guess we'll keep streaming and everyone can see what it fucking does to you.
I'll be honest, dude, you've got the look about you that all the celebrities have got at the moment, because they've all fucking got it, haven't they? Oddly enough.
Yeah, they'll get tested. I won't know if I've had it until those new tests come, will they? That just see if you've had it. But like I say, if I have, as long as I can, depending on how poorly I get, we'll keep doing the streams and
but yeah,
people can see whether it's something not to be worried about or something to be really worried about.
It's definitely something to be worried about. 100%. 100%. I mean, just even if it only knocked people on their ass for 7 days and had a very low chance of killing you, if you took death out of it completely, it would still be catastrophic for the planet. Because the amount of people that would be gone. I mean, America right now, the police are openly saying that they're going to basically phase out enforcing the law in various towns.
I'm kind of hoping that it is COVID-19 that I've got, so I've got it nice and early.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So then when the streets are deserted, I can go out and play I Am Legend. Because the police will stop me, go, "What are you doing?" I'll go, "I've had it. I'm all right. I've taken the piss test. Yeah. I'm clean as a whistle." Either that, or I'll be in hospital and intubated. I'm not sure. I don't know where this is going to go.
Well,
I still think it's just a bad cold, but who knows? We'll find out, won't we? Well, it's been a rough day. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a really shit day.
It's interesting you mentioned, actually, because that was part of the announcement today, wasn't it? And this is across the world, that they're looking very, very heavily into testing people for the antibodies, and predictably, lots of panicked people that can't be bothered, reading past the first line were like, "Well, what's the point of knowing if someone's already had it?" And it's like, so they can get back to the workforce. And then there's another layer of people going, work, and it's like, yes, the thing that stops all those shelves being empty at the supermarket.
Oh, Jesus.
Work, the thing that keeps us alive as a species. But they just see Mr. Moneybags and going, "Oh, it's all about the exploitation, is it?" It's like, no, it's not. Yeah. It's about
Farley Hills has just said Google hydroxychloroquine. We did a big thing last night on the 3 different drugs that we're testing. They've broken in the news widespread today, so we were actually reasonably on the curve with that one. But there's another drug they're testing now, which is a failed Ebola drug.
Yeah.
But the 3 drugs we discussed last night is one's an HIV drug, one is anti-malaria or hydroxychloroquine, and the other one was an anti-rheumatoid medication.
Yeah, and there's others. There's quite a few kicking about, actually, and great. We're all things are being looked after, and it's interesting because I never actually, when I my initial research around all this, and my initial sort of stress was a vaccine, which is very, very important, because if you get it, you might only be immune for another 90 days or a year, which we don't know yet because it's a brand new virus. It's part of the stress. My worry was about vaccines, and it's still there, but I'm less worried about that now that people are moving so quickly with enhanced treatment. Well, obviously the issue still and we really need to understand this, especially kids. Kids, but I'm meaning 18 to 30 at the moment. They really need to understand that it's about overloading the system right now.
No, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. It's terrifying. Have you
don't
seen
care.
London? At least, like in different parts of the country, I noticed it was quieter in Manchester today. In London, they're carrying on like everything's okay.
Yes, there's big issues down there, and in terms of the UK, London doesn't it have like a third or something like that?
It's the hot spot for
Yeah.
infection. But these guys are all going, well, I'm young, I'll be all right. It's like, yeah, but you'll kill your parents and your grandparents, and also, how do you know you're going to be all right?
Yeah, and what if you're, I think, what's his name? The arsehole in a wheelchair.
Which one?
No, the one that we interviewed.
Oh,
the
yeah.
absolute dick,
Donovan.
But he's dead funny.
Donovan.
Yeah. He put out a really good video. He was saying, well, you might be you might be going out for drinks with your mates, but one of your mates works at the old folks home, and that mate that you've just coughed all over is now coughing all over the food and killing everyone's fucking grandmas. It's frustrating, and it's interesting as well because the numbers are coming out now and we don't fully know why, but at first this was called, it was says, it's only going to kill you if you're elderly or if you've got a serious illness, bar some tiny exceptions. Yeah. But now the youth seriousness is going through the roof, and it's it's probably partly because it caught people by surprise at first, but by the time it got to the UK and the USA and the West in general, we were already hiding our old people away. And so that's probably part of what's affecting the numbers for young people now, because they're just carrying on as normal. The rest of us...
Robert Morgan's just said 10% of the millennials who get it will die. No, they really won't. Nowhere near 10%.
Very ill. But here's the thing, though. I can't remember the percentage off the top of my head. And
it's like 0.2. It's 10 times more deadly than the flu on average.
It's not the death rate, though. The death rate isn't what's relevant.
No.
What's relevant is that, and I don't know because I've seen different numbers for different countries. A very high proportion of them will get sick enough to need hospital treatment.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Not whether they'll die or not. We're back to this short-sighted nonsense that people talk about with Antifa. It's like, well, how many people have Antifa killed? And it's like, it doesn't matter how many people. There's other elements. It's multifaceted. And if the hospitals are just packed full of cunts that couldn't just hold off on beach wrestling for a few weeks, it's only fucking March, mate. Could you not have just taken it a little bit
have you
easy?
seen, there was a girl, I inadvertently caused a pile on and didn't mean to. There was a young girl on I think the Peston thread where everyone's been calling me a fucking idiot and a racist. A young girl was like, well, I don't know what's happening with my exams. I think you should tell me. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, love. They kind of got the potential death of thousands of people to deal with.
You know what, love? The information is out there and available. They've already announced it.
But at the time they hadn't. But to be fair,
when
also...
When was this?
It was a couple of days ago. But in the grand scheme of things, who gives a fuck? It's like Vice. I just tweeted this. Vice put up an article about how it's unfair on trans people that surgery's viewed as non-essential.
Well... apparently they kill themselves just as much after they've transitioned, so yeah, it's non-essential.
But this hasn't come from trans people. This has come from Vice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not actual trans people.
No, it's come from Vice. They're in a race with BuzzFeed to see who can be the worst kind of AIDS of the internet.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, Robert said, "Have you seen the beaches of Florida?" Yeah.
Oh, it's insane, man. It's
madness.
Fucking insane.
It's fucking madness. I just don't know what people are thinking.
I don't necessarily agree with them like sort of focusing in and shaming a specific individual. Like there's that one going around with that lad that's just going, if I get it, I get it. He's a dumb kid, and he's probably going to look back in 5-10 years or even just 10 hours from now and just be like, oh my God, I was stupid. All kids are stupid. You know what I mean? Like even the clever ones are stupid. Inexperienced and all that. I'd rather it was going out with the footage of all of them together than look at this.
But it doesn't work like that. The media have failed us from top to bottom. Throughout this whole thing, they failed us absolutely miserably. And like today, the Independent ran a story going, well, China say it didn't originate with them, and just went with that. Didn't say, but that's fucking ridiculous. China said originally it came from Wuhan.
Well,
They gave that cock and bull story about people eating fucking bats and pangolins. We know where it started.
The thing is as well, they're repeating Chinese talking points as well. Literal Chinese propaganda. China is expelling journalists right now, arresting journalists born, Chinese nationals or whatever, the ones that it can't get away with, are just being expelled from the country, whilst putting out this bullshit about, well, the West have had 2 months and they've done nothing. And it's like, well, go back 2 months. What was happening? The WHO was putting out official statements saying that it can't have human-to-human transmission.
It's nothing to worry about.
2 months. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Conspiracy theorists, people are being arrested for breaching the peace by spreading this nonsense. So, and now China are going, oh, well, well, look what we did in just 6 weeks. It's like, oh, fuck yourself. And to lie to the point where they're saying there's just been no new cases. Yeah, no cases today. And places like the Independent, just parroting it. Yeah. Look at China.
Well, I've had a lot of people saying to me, like, Russia have got a low case and China haven't had it. It's like, I would trust a Chinese quick charger more than I would trust the information coming out of those places.
I'm so severely disappointed because, we slag off the media, we moan about the bias and the thing, and whilst for the most part right now, I mean, bar Pelosi and Schumer, politicians are getting together. They're working non-partisan. They're crossing the lines, and they are getting together and realizing this is an emergency. And this is the moment where newspapers have got an opportunity to really prove their worth to us and win our trust back. And they are shitting all over it, debating whether or not we should even use the word China.
Well, that's the thing. I got so much shit for saying what the Chinese government did. They sealed people in their apartments to starve to death. They did that. Well, how do you know? It was one of them China accounts, so I just fucked that up straight away.
Oh, yeah.
But the British people saying you're a racist. Well, how am I a fucking racist? I'm talking about a government. I'm talking about a fucking communist government, not the colour of the skin or their ethnicity. But that's the world we live in now.
And here's the thing, man. People are either stupid, just straight up fucking stupid, or the herd mentality is strong, and it's the herd thing is going to be stronger right now. So, when lies about China donating supplies to Italy go around so fast, even though Italy itself has said, no, this is nonsense, they made us pay for it. Well, people just lie and lie and lie because they need to go with the herd. And the thing is that the newspapers, mass media, has a grave and solemn responsibility to try and guide that, especially now in a moral and a healthy way. But no, they're just spreading the same fucking lies.
Yes, and just to answer Robert there, said don't dismiss that 10% figure. We can dismiss it because it doesn't match any of the figures. North Korea lost over 10,000 soldiers into a malnourished, ill people. And also, how the fuck do we know what North Korea's lost? Seriously, dude. How the fuck do we know that? It's bullshit. There's too much bullshit online. On these fucking conspiracy theories, like David Icke is making hay while the sun fucking shines off the back of this.
Yeah. But you know what's happening, though, right now, because of the media coverage, because of people going, we shouldn't even call it Wuhan. Rather than people knocking on their neighbours' doors and seeing if they need anything, they're on Wikipedia right now having one of the most epic fucking arguments ever as to whether or not we should change the name of the Spanish flu on Wikipedia. The fucking Spanish flu. There's this huge thing. If you go on the website right now, there's a huge bar that says it's disputed, and they've already changed it in the opening paragraph. They say the 1918 influenza pandemic, brackets, also known as the Spanish flu. And there's a whole fucking debate there. And the reason they're changing that now is so that they can point at any cunt that criticizes communist China for their gross incompetence. And point at them and go, well, you're racist. We don't do that anymore. Well, we do that, though, don't we? Because it's MERS. We did it in 2012 with MERS. That was a localized thing. COVID is called SARS. It has been called. It is actually called SARS-2. That's the official fucking name for it. COVID it's called SARS-CoV-2.
Well,
That
SARS was a coronavirus. SARS was a coronavirus. It's
this is SARS-2, but even that's not being fucking used right now, and that is the name. So whilst they're all there going, oh well, it's the coronavirus. No, it's not. It's not COVID-19. They're all nicknames for it. And whilst we're getting onto the point of like, oh well, let's not stigmatize. Well, why are you using a name that isn't its name to soften the blow of the insanity that China has put on the world here? They had literally weeks and weeks and weeks to warn us about this bullshit, and they didn't say a fucking word. They arrested people. They destroyed evidence. The
doctors died.
Two of them. The whistle blew went missing in Thailand. He wasn't even in China. Boom, gone. It's insane. The bookshops have been closing in fucking Hong Kong because the owners have just been vanishing. And yet for some fucking reason they're falling for the same bullshit of how's Donald Trump wording this. Who gives
all that matters to people, Graham, is Trump bad, Boris bad.
Yeah.
End of. China good, Russia good. Fucking Russia.
Fuck him so hard up the arse. Trump wanted to put $1 trillion in the hands of Americans. That's the $1,000 each. Bernie wanted $2,000, $2 trillion essentially. No checks, nothing, just literally there you go, right? Even Ilhan Omar and AOC and Bernie, they were all there saying, yes, this is the right thing to do. Right now, he's got the progressives on his side, right? But Orange Man Bad is so strong and deep in these arseholes' hearts that the Democrats are trying to block it.
Absolutely.
And they're not just trying to block it, they're trying to means test it. So right now, people are losing their jobs all across America. They haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. They're freaking out because the shelves are empty. And Donald Trump tried to just put $1,000 in their hands just to calm things down a little bit and keep the country going. And the Democrats have literally blocked it to make it look bad.
It's one thing we learn in this country. You can't do the minutiae. You can't do the fine detail. It's got to be blunderbuss legislation. So let's just say that Robert Morgan's also said COVID-19 leaves those who have had it with lesions inside their lungs and diminished lung capacity. I'm not being funny, Robert. This is exactly the kind of way of putting things that is just mainstream media bollocks. All pneumonia tends to leave lesions. So far, some people have been left with lesions. It's really important to think about could and some, because it's this kind of definitive stance that's just making people fucking panic. It's the bollocks you're in. It does this. It does that. The scientists are even still figuring out what the fuck it does. There's not enough data yet. So you can't say with absolutely, that's it, you're fucked for life, you've got lesions for life. No, pneumonia usually leaves scarring on the lungs. And what you tend to get with this is pneumonia. But it doesn't mean it's diminished to any significant capacity. Some people will be. Some people won't be. You could get a flu tomorrow and your lungs could lose 50%. You know, this is the way this shit happens. But we've got to be careful, and we've been doing this all week. Let's not throw out absolutes that we can't verify. Let's talk around it. Let's have a chat about it. I've heard this, I've heard that. But that's what this is all about. That's why we're trying to do them as often as possible, so we can get together and exchange ideas. But these absolutes are dangerous, because that's what leads to exactly the kind of thinking we're seeing online. See, he's now telling me it's from an expat inside China. Get a grip. That also is bullshit. Why the fuck would he know? unless he's examined a decent sample of people that have recovered and it's verified, not everyone gets it. In Italy, they've got a good sample. In China, they've had at least 2 people, they claim, that have relapsed.
Yeah, although we are,
Nobody fucking knows. So I don't need to get a grip. I'm the one with a grip because I'm saying we're still learning. When you start throwing absolutes at me, I just think, now you've read a couple of bits that suit and that'll do. Don't worry like that. We got to watch that shit. We've really got to watch that shit. And I say that with the greatest of respect, as you know. I've not coughed. That's good.
The rage. I'm feeling angry tonight, man. I'm really fucking angry. The coverage has been the problem is, like, I'm in this WhatsApp group with all the mums from school at the moment, and they're freaking the fuck out. And they don't have a clue what's going on. And you know, there's ridiculous shit right now where Amazon's put 100,000 jobs on the market right now. People could be flocking to Amazon. This is warlike measures, right? Yeah. The reason Amazon has put 100,000 jobs on the market is because people are too scared to go out and they want deliveries. And Amazon, they're already reducing what's available to priority things. Yeah. You know, like my video game. Like, I told my daughter she'd have a video game on Friday if she was a good girl all week, and it might not arrive now. And you know what? So what? So fucking what, man? I don't get my game on time.
Well, it's Morrison's are taking on 3,500.
Yeah, loads of people are, man. People are everywhere. But what are the papers doing right now? What are the fucking media doing, right? They're moaning about the fact that these Amazon jobs might not be permanent, that they're going to be, that you know, they might not have them at the end of it. And it's like, well, yeah, because we are in serious fucking trouble right now. We need, like, globally, we need to be pulling together and helping each other. And these cunts are scaring people off and making Amazon out to be the bad guy. And it's like, no, they're the people that are going to be getting fucking food to your grandparents, you cunt.
I said yesterday, I split the population into 4 distinct categories. I'll just, anyone that wasn't here. Group A, the vulnerable. Group B, those that have to be in contact with or care for the vulnerable. Group C, the people who can get ill, will get ill, and will provide for Groups B so they can look after Group A. Then there's Group D, middle-class twats that sneer at everybody else whilst hoarding toilet paper and bread and moaning that everyone else is doing it wrong. You know, and that's what we're looking at. You know, oh God, these jobs. No, these jobs are for now. We need people. We need people to do shit.
Yeah, we do. There's jobs popping up everywhere. There's cunts like that hotel chain that just let people go whilst deducting, you know, pay from them if they're overdue on the time off, which is possible because it's the end of the year and they might have had a few days. You know, if you've taken too many days off, we're going to take it off your final.
Oh, that hotel just that's you know, despicable.
For all those pricks that are doing nonsense like that, and where the media could be funneling them, because those pricks are always going to exist. There's no changing that. The same way that some people are going to buy 8 big sacks of Blue Roll and keep it all for themselves, or 17,000 bottles. That is always going to happen. We can't legislate against dickheadness. You know, you can't stop that. And yet, what are the papers doing? If you're one of those hotel employees and you go online and you read about it, you just get told, like, oh yeah, but the people that are hiring are bad people that are trying to exploit you. And it's like, no, the people that are hiring are the ones that are in control of the most effective delivery systems that we have ever known in the entirety of our existence. You know, Amazon and all that, these people that are hiring right now, nobody is better at getting things to people, getting anything to people in the world
quickly.
Ever. Like, yeah, quickly, efficiently, you know, and yet for some reason we're fucking demonizing them right now. It's just madness. I can't even handle.
It's like we said yesterday,
how irresponsible they've been.
Nobody should have to kiss the government's arse. I think they've missed an opportunity today to put a lot of people at their ease, but they obviously haven't got their shit together, so we'll see what they do tomorrow. But I'm not suggesting we don't question all these things, but, you know, for fuck's sake, can we not just try and get behind it a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, yeah.
Can we not just get behind it? Can we not be positive? If the media had acted like this in the Second World War, they'd have been fucking hanged.
We'd all be talking fucking German right now. I tell you that. It's insanity. I personally think they've closed the schools too early, in my humble opinion. But ultimately, what the fuck do I know? You know what I mean? And yeah, you might like things like doing a deal with the banks to suspend all mortgage payments for 3 months. That isn't just a quick phone call.
No, it's definitely not.
Time that takes phenomenal weight and responsibility, and so the fact that all this isn't being that there wasn't just a thing that they just pulled out on day one and went, here we go,
Oh, mate,
lad.
when I said they shouldn't be mithering about Brexit or anything, they've got more important things to deal with, people are genuinely on there saying, well, if they can't deal with two things at once, dude, it's not like Brexit and drug laws. This is a pandemic. People just don't seem to be getting it through their head. This is a pandemic where thousands of people are going to die. And the government's only job is to keep that number as low as possible whilst keeping the wheels turning so people have got something to come back to when it finally burns out. That's it. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Don't give a fuck about Brexit. Anything, just do that. Take care of business.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. The decisions that the governments are making right now, decisions that governments all across the world are making, whether you close the schools this week or next week, that could mean the difference in 100,000 deaths. It's not small. It's not a small thing. When you're all getting, resign Boris and Boris's genocide trending and all that, you haven't got even close to the balls and the bravery to make those kind of decisions. You spineless cunts.
No, the weight. And again, you have to put these shit provisos. I'm no fan of Boris Johnson. We've established that, but the weight on that, weight on his shoulders right now, that is the shit that makes a young man old. That is the shit that will put years on him. Not Brexit and all that, because he revels in all that stuff. But this, every time you get something wrong, and everyone gets shit wrong, there's no manual for this. You can have think tanks and plans, but it's always day to day, always changes, it's always fluid. Every time you get something wrong, people fucking die.
Yeah. Well,
not like soldiers in a foreign field, which is bad enough.
Yeah.
Just your anti-Doreen and shit, voters just fucking die. And so far the government haven't done too bad. I don't give a fuck that they didn't have a cast iron plan in place before anyone knew what was happening. That's not how real life ever fucking works.
No, and you know what? Going straight to martial law, going straight to locking everyone up, that would have caused more deaths in the long run. It would have caused more panic and chaos and interrupted routes and everything. You need to settle a populace into this thing. I mean, London's so fucking bad. They're probably going to have to lock it down within a week or two.
Well, they're screaming, aren't they, about businesses and not telling them to shut. And I get it. It's brutal for them. But if it's just another 3 or 4 days, you'll be okay.
Well,
but they can't do everything at once.
Here's the thing. There's a really simple, clear answer to the why have you not shut down businesses. Because if you closed all the businesses all at once, then all the cunts that are firing people, as they are doing, and that's trickling in more and more, they're going to go and they're going to completely overload the system. They're all going to sign up for job seekers or ESA, emergency payments, on the same day at the same time. And you are looking at mass panic. You're looking at instant food riots because people are like, well, how the fuck am I going to feed my kids? Right now, we are stretching out the river of cunts who are not willing to support their people. And I'm not talking about a shopkeeper that can't pay, part-time staff. I understand that. I 100% understand that. Someone standing there and saying, I'm so sorry, I literally can't afford to pay you right now. I there's nothing else I can do. I respect and understand where that person is coming from. But, a big, massive business that just deals in information and, Facebook or whatever, for them to do anything other than give people full pay and send them home right now is insanity. But either way, it needs to be stretched out because you can't make being a cunt illegal. And tomorrow, and again with the papers, why are they not telling anyone of this? They're all sharing the horror stories, and they're not telling anyone about the fact that tomorrow is our next financial statement. The next stimulus is going to come.
Yeah.
2 days ago, we got 330 billion. Half a billion for local councils. We got grants for local businesses. It wasn't good enough, though. There needs to be more. And that's coming tomorrow. But rather than just calming people down, avoiding riots, avoiding panic, avoiding all that shit, it's like, no, freak the fuck out as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate them for
That's
it.
why we got the panic buying. Not because
that's
of
why
Boris.
it's happening.
Some prick said to me, he's going on about Brexit, said it's irrelevant right now. Have you been to the shops? What? Are you really drawing the line between Brexit and the state? We have a disruption to the supply chain. We don't have a shortage of produce.
No.
We have a disruption to the supply chain because there's computerized ordering. I was talking to Daz about this earlier, and just the logistics of it. And if being in the EU would have solved this, why are they having riots in France over food? This is the pettiness we're dealing with now. People are so used to being spoiled, inconsiderate, self-centered cunts that they're willing to overlook the fact that our government are dealing with a pandemic because they've not dealt with it to their personal satisfaction, because they would have done better. And it's like, well, what do you do for a living, mate? Oh, I'm a university lecturer. Oh, you'd have saved the day then, wouldn't you? With your corduroy fucking patches on your elbows, you prick, you. And they get pissy with me because I call them a bellend. I can't help it. You're a bellend. That's what I call bellends. Bellends.
That's what they're doing. They can't possibly conceive of what it means to have, 3 million people all do the same thing at the exact same time, and how that just destroys all infrastructure. They can't possibly do that. No, they're more worried about whether or not you say the word China, Chinese virus, Wuhan coronavirus. Oh my fucking God. Do you know what, man? There's a lot of people in this country that have wanted for nothing for their entire lives. People my age, I'm nearly 40, and they've never had any real problems. Nothing. Not in terms of reality, not in terms of how dangerous and fucked up this world can be.
I went to the supermarket. Couldn't get anything.
They're going to wake up now.
Couldn't get anything. This wasn't today, because I've not been... I'm trying to play the game at the minute. But went in there, couldn't find... But, the aisles were full of people, I'd say, between 20 and 40 years old. Loading the trolleys up with food and booze and laughing and joking. And I'm thinking that the lack of forethought, not just the immediate concern of you are a hoarding prick. You're denying the vulnerable their chance to get things, the shift workers, the key workers. But also, you're spending everything you've got now on mainly perishables.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if this goes on more than 2 weeks? Because it is.
I've been dropping my daughter off. I've had a rucksack on my back, and I've just gone in and bought a few things and brought it home with me on the way home. That's it. That's all I've done.
You need.
Weeks ago, when we first telling about this, when the shelves were stocked, I did some big shops then. But even then, I didn't go fucking mental. I just got a few. I've got a few, those bake at home rolls but they're used by homes like 3-4 months. So I was right. I've got a couple of them. Not the whole fucking box. It's insane. We've got plenty of food right now. Plenty.
Well, there is no food shortage. The shops just can't get it out quick enough.
Yeah, they just
can't.
But
what gets me is, how are they still doing it? This has gone on for days now. How are they managing this?
I don't know, but
I kicked off in one of the local groups on Facebook today because, there's more people collecting for the vulnerable, and that's beautiful. And someone said, oh, we're all good people in Droylsden, and in Ashton, and in Manchester, and in Gort. Oh, we're all good people. It's like, hang on, fuck you. At least half the people on this fucking page are the ones out there filling their fucking shopping trolleys to the bits and counting their fucking toilet rolls. It doesn't erase your fucking deeds. Someone I know admitted to doing it today. It was like, you fucking asshole. What were you fucking thinking? The whole thing's just... It's fucking disgusting. It's literally disgusting. I've seen people treat people dreadfully the last few days. Old folks in the shops, the staff of shops, as if it's their fault you can't get fucking corned beef. Oh, why don't you just wait a couple of days, you greedy twat? Oh, I might be isolated. You're not going to be fucking isolated. You do not fucking care.
The supermarket nearest me, it's all pensioners working there, and they're still there. I thought they'd be off. But they obviously feel obliged because there's queues, the self-service thing, it's got like 20, 30 machines there. The queue goes right down the shop last time I went in. Right down. I mean, it goes down really quickly because there's so many machines to use. But it's only going down quickly because there's fucking pensioners stood there. So that when you fuck up your bagging or you need to get the pass for your ID and all that shit, they're there. Grafting their asses off, and there's a reasonable chance that they're going to die because of it, and they must know that as they stood there.
Somewhere.
And it's insane to me. I really hope that there's some perspective for the vast majority of the people in this country who worry about fucking pronouns and all this constant relentless bullshit that they cling on to, that I only care about because it affects legislation, because it affects kids, because it leads to fucking child abuse.
But what do we care about now? What was today's biggest story?
What?
A bunch of fucking celebrities singing Imagine. A song written about having no possessions, written by a 40-year-old fucking multi-millionaire who basically, not sexually, but abused his own son and turned his life upside down. A song written by a cunt, sang by fucking cunts. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I get it, it's very nice to have people wash your hands, but you're doing it in the palatial grounds of your $40 million house. You want for nothing. People don't need that right now. They need common sense, simple advice, and we are going to see mobilisations of the police. We're going to see sweeping new laws, hopefully with a caveat in there like they usually are in this country, that they have to be reviewed every 6 months.
Yeah.
They'll control the means of sale and production. They will control that now because we can't be trusted. They will make people isolate themselves. They will start arresting you if you are ill and you're on the streets. That's just what's going to happen because what the government have done is said to us, this is what you should do. And we're ignoring them.
Yeah, it's going there.
The next thing is the stick.
And again, you're just bringing me straight back to the journalists because they're there in front of Boris fucking Johnson, in front of the Prime Minister right now, and they've got a chance to ask him anything. And don't get me wrong, some of the questions have been very, very good, and they've been excellent. And I don't always listen to the Q&A for these things, but I have listened to the Q&A because they've been very, very good in terms of like getting to the minutiae of it or whatever. But some of them have just been, like when are you closing London down? And it's all about creating panic and getting that sweet click. And you know what, mate? You work for the fucking BBC. You don't need the clicks. You've made it damn clear with the likes of Doctor Who that you don't give a fuck about ratings. So why the fuck are you asking stupid fucking questions
about Boris's dad?
Specifically to get a soundbite.
About Boris's dad.
That's
to go to
all
the
they
pub.
want. They just want to make him look like a tit, and so they can just play it over and over again. So people, and I've met plenty of people like this, that are just like, well, he doesn't know what he's doing, does he? Because that's what they want to do. They want to get that fucking fear. And again, that is only going to kill people. That is only going to make people suffer. And I fucking hate them for it.
Well,
the
here's
sooner the media dies, the better.
Ben Rosevere says, can you not see the danger in that? I imagine the sweeping new powers. Yes, of course. But Ben, right now you've got a choice. How many people should be allowed to die? Now, most times when they have these measures, all the legislation contains must be reviewed in 6 months.
Yeah.
They will give it up because it's actually contradictory to a society that can work properly. This is when shit's broken. This is what governments are supposed to do. Step in, sort shit out, then step the fuck back out. Yeah,
everything that's going through has got a time limit. The biggest thing so far is the overall bill, which is 2 years. But even then, it's not like all of this will be in place for 2 years.
No.
Most of what they've been bringing in has got a 3-month time limit. So the rent thing is, like you cannot get evicted right now, but that's only for 3 months, and that that it will be reviewed, and if it needs to be extended, I'm sure it will be extended. But
Very much so.
but these things, and but again, the problem is people don't have the time. People are looking after their families and worrying and stuff. They don't have the time to read the entire bill, and again. That's where the responsibility lies with the media, because they're supposed to summarize it in a responsible, decent manner. And you know what? When you're just talking about fucking some EastEnders cunt that's having an affair with someone, go for it, mate.
Yeah.
But right now, when literally tens, hundreds of thousands of lives are on the line, and all you're doing is going for the salacious headline, you can fuck off. You can go fuck yourself. And you know what? Laura Kunnensberg, the one who Twitter just hates.
Yeah.
She's been phenomenal.
She has. She's been really good.
The questions she's been asking, you might think she's a Tory and she's a BBC shill and all that other nonsense, man. But listen to her questions during the briefings, man. They're always spot on. Very good.
The media, like I say, the media has failed. It's been failing us for years, but at times like this, you really need them. And yes, Alan Reader, James O'Brien can go fuck himself.
Oh, that cunt.
He's the worst kind of arsehole.
The
first time I ever spoke to him on that show, he was an arsehole, and he's remained an arsehole ever since. He's fucking dreadful. And it's all about political point scoring. It's all hugely, hugely disappointing. Yeah. But Graham, I know it's only been 47 minutes.
No, I know. I appreciate that.
My head is fucking splitting,
mate. I'm exhausted myself. It's just rage keeping me going right now. To be honest.
Smoke Steve. No, my family aren't isolated from me because I think I caught this off my son who got it at school. Now, obviously, he's only got a little bit of a cough and a little bit of chest tightness, and he's apparently fine. But apparently, that's quite typical of young people that get this. So, it's if you live in the same house, you can't. You can't isolate yourselves from it.
Well, you've just brought me to the decision that we need to make tomorrow, because it's the last day of school and they're making hotels available. So the ones for families usually, and other ones actually, which not all hotels are being dicks right now. There's
no.
Owned by billionaires, I don't doubt. So the hotels around hospitals are being made available for NHS staff. So I need to make the choice. We need to really sort of talk about it tomorrow. Like basically, is Soph going to fuck off? Because that way, if me and my daughter get ill, she isn't taken out of the equation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of flexibility to it. It might be the case if I get sick first, she's still allowed to basically just go, ignore the quarantine.
Yeah.
But we need to look at that tomorrow, man, because she can't be taken out of the circulation right now, if at all possible.
Well, I'd say if what I have is COVID-19, we'll see what it's like. Like I say, I'm still edging on the cold thing because I'm a very hopeful and optimistic person.
You'll be there like Crip Daddy. Only you won't have a special frame. It'll just be your wife's hands
holding my head up.
Yeah.
But if it is, I will stream unless I'm too poorly to do so. If it is that, just so we can see what it's like, because I don't know what it's like either.
Yeah, we can just do 20 minutes. Paul has just said, what happens to the homeless hostels? Are they closed too? I'd say this, Paul. This is another thing that these assholes have been creating panic around, which again is just so fucking annoying. Basically, they'll be going into the cold weather provision. So what that means is, like, even houses that have closed completely, that don't exist anymore, if they're still standing and it's possible to put a mattress in them, they give homeless people keys to the front door, keys to the bedroom, and they put you in there. There's no housing benefit, there's no rent, they just put you in there. If needs be, they take over government buildings, like foyers of wherever, man. I know, because I've been involved in this, and they literally give you a bed. Like, if it is taken care of. I'm sure there's some administrative issues, but despite what these people are telling you, there is a very strong process in place there that's usually there for cold weather, but it'll be used for this. I guarantee it. In fact, I've not even checked that email because I want. No, I don't. I'm not bringing that into this house right now. So don't worry, man. I mean, I'm sure some people are going to fuck up, but I'll be honest. The guy that's still on the streets whilst this is going on is probably an insanely bad person, and not all homeless people are innocent war veterans who just had a bit of bad luck. Some of them are the most evil cunts you've ever met in your whole life, who will literally steal from children. Like, so I'm not, not that I'm saying that everyone that's still on the streets is like that, but all right, he's coughing his guts up in my ears. Sorry, he's muted himself. But the people who are still on the streets whilst cold weather provision is in act are awful, awful people. Awful. Like I used to house some of the worst people on the planet. That have done all sorts of bad stuff, but they still get a bed. So if they're not getting a bed right now, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they fucking deserve it. Put it that way.
Right,
Maybe they've done
we're
some
stopping.
terrible things.
We're
Yeah, we're
stop-
done.
I'm
We're done.
fucking going.
We're done.
Guys, with any luck, we're back tomorrow night. As you know, we're going to try and do this as often as possible. We're not going to commit to a time or say it's going to be 7 days a week, but we'll do our best. If you'd like to help support TW through these trying times, I know it's bad for everyone, but if you could, go to patreon.com/triggerwarningtv or hit us up on the PayPal or whatever. If you can't do that, I just don't want to, please just share links, click like, do all those things. Helps us get out there, and we're gonna try and ride through the apocalypse with you, and you with us. I'm gonna go and feel really sorry for myself for a bit, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Night.
Wait. We need to talk about the wider implications. The next year ahead, Aiden.
I saw. I've just turned your sound off. Bye, everybody.